Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OK Den Show, where I am Titia, the madre.
And I am Chyna Elizabeth, the daughter.
And we're going to be talking about a mother's influence of your friends.
Yeah.
We're going to get right into it today because what I want to share a little bit about is I was very influential in my children's lives about their friends. I remember having personal conversations with them, letting them know that I would have a say, regardless of their thought process of if I should have a say. I made sure that they were clear that I would have some input in who they were going to be hanging around. Would you say that, Elizabeth?
Very much so. If she didn't like you, I knew it. If she did, I knew it.
So, being that, I wanted to assist in her circle of influence. You know, I made sure that Chyna knew that I would be communicating if someone I thought was a good influence or a negative influence, because that mattered to me. And I felt like, you know, having those kinds of influences in your life, you wanted to make sure as a parent that you had something to say about it.
For sure.
So
I totally agree with what she's saying. I feel like it was good, but at the time, of course, I wasn't appreciative of it then, just because I wanted to hang out with who I wanted to hang out with, and I liked my friends. They was crazy and they was wild, but we was wild together.
Yeah, and so therefore, I remember instances about Chyna's friends. Most of them were great or, you know, nice, but, you know, I just cared about what you all were doing, you know, aside from the parents, the private thoughts and communications that you all had when you were not around adults. Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that those people that you were hanging out with had a positive influence on you or shared the same belief system, at least that we did. So I didn't want someone teaching you things that I was totally against.
For sure. And I feel like at that time when I was younger, none of that stuff mattered to me. As I got older, it definitely did. When I was young, it was just like, we having fun. It don't matter what you believe, what you doing. We having fun together. Like, it was just like, we young, we're kids. It just wasn't any in-depth thought. But of course, as I've gotten older, I've started to appreciate the friends that I do have more. Like, we have the same beliefs. We can literally talk about everything, and we have a different type of relatable aspect on life. And we share the same values, and we can see things in the same perspective, you know, and that really does matter in friendships. And then we understand each other. Me and my friends don't have to talk every day. Yeah. And still talk. When we talk, it's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. I'm not that friend that wants to be talking to you every day. I don't care if we don't talk for 2 months.
Yeah.
Hey, you busy? I'm busy. We got lives.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. But when we catch up, I feel like it's even better because we have so much more to talk about. And that's my problem too. Like, I don't be having so much to talk about in my life because my life is pretty straight to the point. I work, I stay at home, spend my time with Jesus, and I go to church and be with my family and my friends. But I don't be going out too much. Like, I don't have drama. Yeah. To just be like, talking about things. If we're talking about something, it's like, what did we learn from something we went through or something like that? Yeah. It's not like we just have so much to spill on. That's, I don't know, we don't gossip. Yeah. You know? So I feel like it's definitely helped in these friendships, and it's taken me a long time to really appreciate that and to even have those friends and set those tones of having those conversations and those boundaries and knowing like we don't have to talk every day and it's okay. Yeah, that's really great. Your lashes are really cute. I got me some new lashes today, y'all, and they real nice and vibrant and minky and velvety. I was like, when I seen them at the store, I was like, yeah, them it. Okay. Them the ones. I know you don't like all that, but I love it. They look really cute. Thank you. And you were saying what you were saying about friends, I remember always being the youngest person in the group. Like when I was younger,
I remember in the 3rd grade, my friends were 6th graders.
That 3rd grade, everything happened in the 3rd grade. You're going to hear that a lot on this podcast.
I mean, and I had some friends that were the same age that I was, but the people that I hung around were always a lot older than I was. So I always had this mindset that I could do more, or I could be involved in things that were more mature because I was around more mature individuals. So that caused me to have a different thought process, to think differently, to communicate differently, to share my opinion differently, because I had experienced a lot at an early age because I saw so much, because a lot of my friends who were older had a lot more leniency. So I could see what they were able to get away with. I remember even my cousins were older, and I will say that I learned how to sneak from my cousin. My cousin was the queen of sneak, and my sister calls her husband calls her the empress. I was the empress of sneak. So I was right up under her. And I just knew that had such a huge influence on me. So I wanted to make sure that even though these were my family members, they were my close friends too. I knew that my children, again, we have to be inclusive in their lives. And, some people think that's something minor that you don't necessarily need to be, involved in who your children are around. But I wanted to be involved in that because, again, the influence that I had on my life that caused me, again, to do so many things that brought on these consequences, I didn't want that for my children. So I wanted to make sure that I was placing myself in that realm to find out who they were connected to, who those friends were, the influences that they were around, or things that they shared with them. I was a part of all that. So, and I know Chyna didn't care for it too much, but
not at all.
I think it was good for her.
For sure. And like I said, in the end, in the long run, for sure. But at the time, I was just like, I don't see a problem. Like, we have fun together.
Right.
What's the issue?
Of course.
But now looking back, like, I had my Hispanic friends when I was, like, in intermediate school, and they were out there. Their parents just didn't care. I feel like in the Hispanic community, they grow up a lot faster. Their parents involve them more in, like, their partying and they're going out and all of that. Like, they get into that world pretty fast. And so we will be at the house partying with the adults. You know what I'm saying? Just having fun. And we weren't doing anything, but it was just like we would be around those environments and around older people when I was with them. But it wasn't the best being around that. At such a young age, it's just certain things you shouldn't be around.
Yeah. You just made me think of my two friends. They were Hispanic as well. And we spent the night at each other's houses all the time. And them staying at my house was very different than me staying at theirs.
For sure.
When I stayed at their house, they were able to stay out later. They could say things to their parents that I couldn't say to my parents. There were a lot of, again, that word leniencies.
For sure.
That they had that I was just be like, I wish I would.
Okay. Like, if I were to do that, I would be done. You wouldn't see me no more.
That's very true.
Not at all.
Yeah, my restrictions were that strict.
Yeah.
So when I saw other friends that were able to do some things, I was kind of mind blown by it. But it did influence me sometimes to try it, to see what I could get away with. And so those were things that I was concerned about. And I remember talking to one of your friends' parents. And that's the other thing. When you would spend time with the friends, of course, I got to know the parents really, really well.
For sure.
So my rule was Chyna was not allowed to stay at the mother and father's house if the father was there by himself. Now, she could stay with the mom, with the daughters by themselves, but I didn't allow her to be at home with the father by themselves. So I had called the mother or the mother and I had talked that morning, and she said that she had to go to work at a certain time. And I said, well, I will come and pick Chyna up before you go to work, because I knew that that meant that she was going to be left in the care of her husband. Now, mind you, I didn't know her husband well. I didn't know anything about him, but that was just something that I was very uncomfortable with. And because I was uncomfortable with it, that was my rule. My daughter is not allowed to stay with someone's husband if the mother is not there. Well, she went to work and she left Chyna with the husband, and her daughter was there, of course, as well. Well, I called and she didn't answer the phone. The mother didn't answer the phone right away. And so finally she answered the phone, and I said, well, where's Chyna? And she said, well, she's at the house. And I said, she's at the house with who? And she said she's there with my husband. Well, I politely went and picked up Chyna. I let her know that I was not happy about that decision that she had made, being that I had told her how I felt. And I went and picked Chyna up, and Chyna never went back to her house again.
Never again.
So
friendship was ruined. Just
it was
all
ended.
The way.
Friendship was ended.
All the way. That was my best friend.
Oh, and so well. I was like, oh no. No. That does not happen on my watch, because the thing about it was that was my rule. And
mind you, this man was not bothering us at all. We were upstairs minding our business.
Didn't matter. That was my rule.
He was out of sight, out of mind.
That was nice.
And I didn't even realize. I think when you shut up, I was like, what is happening? Why am I leaving? But then I was later informed.
Yeah.
The rest was no longer.
And parents mattered too. Let me just say that. Parents mattered also. I cared about who the parents were, what the parents were doing once I met them. So sometimes the child could be fine, but I might have a problem with the parents. And I'd be like, I don't know about that. So that would probably mean that she wasn't going to be able to go to their home.
Yeah.
Because if I had any kind of negative influence from them, or I felt a certain kind of vibe, because I had instincts and the Holy Spirit would reveal certain things to me that, Chyna was too young to see or understand. So I didn't have to explain to her. That was my mindset. Also, I am the parent. It is my job to protect and take care of my children. That's all I cared about. So she didn't understand always that I would say, no, you're not going to this person's house. Also, because it had to do with the parents. It wasn't always just the friends.
I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't understand it at all.
Yeah.
I was like,
you'd have to figure it out.
Why can't I go have fun with my friends and enjoy what I want to do?
No.
With my people. It was my people. It was my dogs.
Yeah, but you were a child at home, and I cared to protect. I wanted to protect my daughter at all costs.
Okay.
So you tell me of a situation where you felt like your friends had influence on you. I think, was it intermediate school possibly that something may have happened with you, or you had a realization?
I don't necessarily feel like... So my mom has always felt like my friends have influenced me.
Oh, she was the influence.
I was the one coming up with the schemes. How we gonna do this? How we gonna do that? Now, I will say they made it all come together and come to pass. Like, we was just locked in together, and we was like, yeah, we doing this. Like, I was the one to come up with the idea, and they would egg it on. You know what I'm saying? And they would come up with ideas too, but a lot of times I'd be the one coming up with the schemes, the sneakeration. I am her child. So therefore, there were some times when I felt influenced. I will say there was one time when I was in high school. I may have even still been in middle school or so, and it was social media was just starting to get in tune or whatever. And so I posted this meme, but it had the D word on it, right? I just posted it on like my story or whatever.
The D word?
Yeah. Like a curse word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, what is the D word? I didn't even know what that was. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And so I wasn't thinking anything of it. I posted it, and then my mom and Jay Wade came home and like immediately took my phone And like my friends were there, so we had like a whole sit down talk and everything, and like they were just going crazy on me. I'm like, this is just like, I didn't even say the word. It was on a meme. Like, it wasn't like I did anything that was, but it was the post, you know? So I feel like even in that time, even with profanity and stuff like that, being around people who said words like that and made me feel like it was okay, knowing that it wasn't, period. I did feel I did things to make me fit in or to seem cool or get that type of attention of like just a laugh or seem like I was a part of what they were doing. So I feel like that was definitely more of an influence, but if anything,
you were the influence.
If anything,
she is still trying to get a whooping, y'all. This is the second show she's trying to get a whooping because she keeps confessing.
I'm just being honest. Like, I'm the one that was always in trouble. Okay, my friends, not so much, and it was because their parents were more lenient too, but. With them being more lenient, I still was the one that was going to test them waters. Like, they did things that they were able to do.
Right.
I did not.
Mm-hmm. You were crossing boundaries.
Very much so.
Rivers and shores and...
all the way.
Beaches and...
all the way. I remember, I will never forget this day. They were out of town. My mom and Jay Wayne. And so I don't even think I was supposed to have a phone. I had me a little sneak phone or whatever. And so, there was this guy that I was talking to, and there was a car at the house. I knew how to drive. I don't even think I had my license.
You didn't have your license, but you knew how to drive.
Yeah, I have been driving a little bit. And
I remember this.
I was like calling my friends. I'm like, y'all, should I do it? Should I do it? Like, should I not do it? Should I do it? Mind you, my stepsister is there at the house. I wasn't finna tell her what I was doing. So, I ended up taking the car. I did. I snuck out my window. I snuck out my window. And I took the car. And of course, my friends is egging me on. Like,
yeah, come on, do
go
this.
ahead, go ahead, you got it. Like, you're not going to get caught. Like, nothing is going to happen or whatever. Like, it's not going to be a thing. Of course, I get caught because life, Jesus is like, you know you're not supposed to be doing this. So, therefore, you're going to be exposed. And I was.
And exposed means...
it was just revealed. The truth was revealed. The lie was revealed. So I was in a lot of trouble. And even if my friends would have just said, no, don't do it, I would have been just fine. And I was already in trouble before I took the car. So I was in trouble times 10 when they found out I took the car.
Liars go to hell. Liars go to hell. Burn, burn, burn. Burn, burn,
I was burning that day. I was burning. I was definitely burning. So I can't say for that one. Like,
so what happened? What happened? You were exposed. You were revealed. It was revealed that you took the car. And then what happened after that? Was there a consequence?
Oh, for sure. That was the time I think I was on 6 months of punishment. Phone taken, couldn't go nowhere. It was a lot of isolation, thinking about the thoughts and the consequences and how I should have gone about it in the future. What will I do? And what will I think about before I get into the place that I am now?
And so did you stay friends with those people that encouraged you? Like,
I was very much still their friends. Yeah.
So it didn't bother you that they pushed you because you felt like you still were doing it on your own. It didn't have anything to do with their influence,
I wouldn't
correct?
even think about that.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was my decision to make.
There you go.
I don't like to blame other people for my
decisions.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's still my choice.
Yeah.
They didn't force me to do anything.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. That's real good, Elizabeth. And that's the thing, taking
accountability.
Yes, responsibility. I love that so much. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to. But at the end of the day, they weren't at the house with me. You know, we had the conversation, but my mama didn't know we had that conversation. My mama didn't know who told me to do this, and they didn't tell me. It was still initially my thought. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they didn't come up with that. Mm-hmm. I did.
Now, are you still friends with those same people? One you still are?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to know, like, even in that process, because some of them were encouraging you.
It was us 5 in a group chat. So, 1 out of the 5.
So the other 4, you're no longer friends with, pretty much.
Yeah. And it's cordial, but we just don't talk. We're not friends.
Got it. Okay.
No.
Okay. And that came from just growth or the process?
For sure, growth. Seeing, I was a very giving friend.
Okay.
I feel like some people around me took that for granted, took my kindness for weakness, and just used me in ways for their benefit. And I just started to see things a lot more clearly as I got older and a lot more mature. And
that's good.
Seeing who was there for me when I was there for them. Because I feel like our relationships are give and give, not just give and take.
Okay. All right, give and give.
Yeah, so
hashtag give and give.
I realized I was doing all the giving and wasn't getting nothing in return. And it's not, I mean, you're not supposed to want to have anything given back in return. It's really not that serious. But at the same time, if you're being drained from other people and not being refilled.
That's good, Chyna.
Yeah, you kind of in a drought.
So would you say at this point in your life you have a different thought process about how you choose friends?
Oh, for sure. I feel like even with the friends that I do have now, it's a different type of freedom. We can be completely 100% who we are with each other, and I feel like we genuinely love each other. So whatever we need from each other, we can be that for one another. It's not, what are we getting out of this? We don't even think about that. Like, if somebody needs something cool, I know you'll be there for me when I have something. Like, it's just a for sure security in knowing that you're a friend to me, a true friend to me, and that you love me fully and I love you fully, despite what you have going on, despite what your circumstances. You'll always be in their corner.
That's good. I love that. And I think that's what it boils down to when it comes to friends, is being like-minded and knowing that you're willing to give. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be on the exact same level, but the mindset is we're here for one another in the capacity that we can. However we can give, let's do that. We are available for the other person. We're able to share and be genuine and transparent. And I think even as an adult, when we look at our children, we're not expecting the children to have the adult thought processes, but we want to see characteristics in those friends that, again, emote positivity and directing them in the right direction and causing them to make wise choices. Because, again, when your friends influence you sometimes to do negative things, you are the one that's left in trouble while they're moving on and doing their thing. And so that was always a concern for me. And ultimately, how did my thoughts influence you and your thoughts about your friends, like today? Like, did any of the things that I shared with you over the years, do you feel like that did impact how you think now? I know growing closer to the Lord assisted that, but does anything come to mind that I've said to you, even when you've thought about friendships?
I feel like more than anything, the spiritual aspect of it, having friends that just have that same value in being spiritual and having direction and discernment from God. Because if we not having the same source, we not gonna ever agree. I mean, we can have some similarities on something, but who are you getting direction from? You know, and if we're not getting direction from the same source, then you're not going to understand where I'm coming from. I ain't going to understand where you're coming from.
Gotcha.
So I will say that you instill that. And even watching you with your friends, I feel like you're very intentional about your friendships, and you are very selective with your friends as well. And you nurture those friends, and you keep them close, and you're very open and honest with your feelings. And I feel like that is showed me how to be transparent and honest and don't let things fester, you know? And I also want to say healthy boundaries.
That's good.
Is very vital in friendships, just because people need their space sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes somebody can't take on what you have going on.
Yeah.
So I say, ask your friend, do you have the capacity to take on what I need to tell you? Are you in the right space to take on what I need? Or are you even good? Like, just making sure you check on the person that you're coming to before you dump.
That's good.
Because sometimes I can't even be emotionally available for you in that time, and it's not anything towards you, it's just
right.
I don't have the capacity.
Got it.
You know, so I feel like that's also very important, just because I feel like a lot of people don't take that into consideration with their friends. They just assume, since you're my friend, you can hear this and you can take this, and that's nice a lot of times, but if you don't know what I have going on just because I haven't communicated that with you, doesn't mean I'm automatically available to take on what you have going on.
And where'd you learn that? Where'd you get that information from? I don't know.
Maybe.
Was it? Could it have been?
Maybe.
Let me see. Who would it have been?
It may have been her. Maybe. You know?
But no, I really do appreciate you sharing that information, because again, all of that you said was very wise. Seriously.
Well, I have a wise mother.
But I appreciate that about you, because you do that even with me. You check to make sure that you can handle it. A lot of times you'll ask me how I'm doing. You check in with me. I appreciate that about you. You can tell when I'm not so good or when I'm tired or what have you. You will ask, how are things, or, are you okay? And I appreciate that. And I try to do the same thing for you.
For sure.
But that's why we have now become friends. Daughters now friends. So I love that.
I do too. And I think it is very important, because we all have things that we're going through. So
what are we okay with?
Okay. I am okay with being a friend. I feel like it was hard for me to be that for a long time and to understand what that even was. So I'm okay with being the friend that I am, and being okay with the friends that I do have, and enjoying them and appreciating them.
That's really good.
And you, because you're my best friend.
Aw, thank you, daughter.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much, and we've grown to that. So
very much so.
It is about the mom's influence for sure.
Yeah.
I believe that it's imperative that the mother is involved with her daughter, that she is involved with her children, period, knowing who they're surrounded with and by, and the different things that they are coming in contact with. I think all of that matters in their growing up and in their decision making. Yeah. I'm okay with being parent first, friend second. That's what we've grown to. And now I am friend, but I can say the process of parenting had to come first. I will just keep sharing that with you guys. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with knowing that even being a strict mother, it has resulted in being a great friend.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you, Elizabeth.
I'm proud of you too.
This has blessed me one more again. And we just want you all to continue to follow us.
Yes.
subscribe, listen, share, comment. Tell us what you think about the episodes.
Everything.
Yeah, subscribe.
Really subscribe.
Like
y'all
subscribe.
be watching, but if you ain't subscribing,
Like subscribe.
you ain't really with us for real. Like you babysitting. Well, you should be a part of the family.
And how can they watch us on the YouTube?
You can watch us on the YouTube. If you go to our Instagram, you can go to the link and it'll tell you how to get to our YouTube, our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, which is also Anchor. And
Wednesdays at 9 a.m.
Yeah, Wednesdays. Catch us at Wednesday every 9 a.m.
Every 9 a.m.
Wednesday.
on Wednesday. Every 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Yeah.
But it's been great being with you guys. We appreciate you.
Okay then.
We
We about to left.
Oh,
Bye then.